Howdy, 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 everybody. How's it going, y'all? How's it going? Happy Thursday, y'all. Welcome back to Boxem Office Hours. Live this time every Tuesday and Thursday. As a reminder, popping on, answer any questions you guys have about selling on Amazon. And yeah, just kind of checking in with you guys. So yeah, I know I've been live a lot this week. So let me know if we got any familiar faces in chat, that kind of thing. I know a lot of you guys have been liking the series that's going on the channel right now as well. So appreciate all the love and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been going to a different retail store every day all week. I'm about to go hit I think the store for today is going to be Marshall's or something like that, maybe Walmart. And then we'll see how it stacks up at the end of the week with all the other retail stores have been sourcing. So it's been a fun little challenge for sure. Super good energy on the free Amazon workshop last night. So appreciate all you guys to the free call. Super good time, just kind of talking shop, breaking down sourcing, and yeah, just kind of getting you guys prepped to make some money on Amazon here through the end of the year. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about selling on Amazon using Boxem, anything entrepreneurship related. I'm always happy to chop it up with you guys. What's up, Sunil? Got everything going? Sweet. Yeah, glad that's working for you there. And yeah, if you guys are watching replay, you're already here. Make sure you guys, if you're not already using Boxem, make sure you go ahead and check it out. Also, for those of you guys that are using Boxem, there's a closed beta for a restocks feature. Though I know a lot of you guys have been testing out and liking so far. If you guys want access to that, just let me know and we'll get you set up. I just ask that you let me know what you think. Let me know anything that we can add to it, that kind of thing. So that's been cool to see a lot of you guys, kind of already going in there, filtering for products that you had forgotten about and restocking some good profits and that kind of thing. On top of the ungating, analytics, shipping, listing, all the other stuff you can already take care of there on Boxem as well. So yeah, it's a good day to be kind of getting after it here. Let me know any questions you guys have as you're popping on in. Prove it. You can scroll through social media, man. I've been posting for years and years, kind of showing what I'm up to on Amazon and all that. So yeah, just kind of check that out there. Let's see. What's up? Sabrina said, can you FBA oversized stuff that's bigger than 25 inches? Yeah. So that's actually, the rules updated now. One of the dimensions of a box can be 36 inches now for some reason. The others, so 36 by 25 by 25 is like the maximum size box you can send to Amazon, unless the products themselves are bigger than that. So like I remember, a long time ago at this point, I was selling like roof racks and like that kind of thing for like bikes and that kind of thing. So those were obviously longer than 36 inches. So we just sent those in their own cases basically. And it was all good to go. So yeah, it's not like Amazon bans you from shipping in things that are longer than than like 36 inches. Let's see. You said you're having a hard time finding wholesalers. Any advice? So I don't do too much wholesale, to be honest. I've done wholesale in the past. What I would recommend, especially if you're hopping on, unless you're already making a good amount of sales, is just going to like big websites and sourcing from there. That's how I run my business. That's pretty much where I source all my inventory still, running a decent scale. So yeah, there's no reason to like skip straight into wholesaling and stuff. If you do want to get into wholesale, maybe you're someone who's already been flipping some name brand stuff for a while. Like local wholesalers is a good place to start, or just reaching out to the brands you're already having success selling. See if they have like a discount program you can hop on, or any local or any distributors in your area specifically that they can connect you with, that kind of thing. Let's see. What's up, Isis? If you're looking for just like help getting started, just check out the YouTube content. Yeah, just Fields of Profit on YouTube. In the middle of a series, like sourcing some products on camera, that kind of thing. And then I've also got like I have a 5-hour long free YouTube video on my channel that breaks down like all the basics, how to source, how to get ungated, opening your account, up to like how to do your taxes, like all the stuff that is important to know. Let's see, how would you get invoices to get ungated with them? So yeah, I mean, talk about ungating probably every stream, but you'll just submit retail invoices or wholesale invoices from Walmart.com, Target.com. You buy from a local wholesaler, that kind of thing. Those are all invoices that would work to get you approved to sell name brand specifically on Amazon. And one like really easy step 0.5 of like selling on Amazon is just go run your store through the Boxem bulk ungate check. And that'll give you a list of like 50 to 100 brands that you're approved to sell for free. It's going to go in, it's going to try to apply for all those brands on your behalf, and it's going to spit out a list of things that you're now approved to sell with no invoices or anything like that. Let's see. Do you still sell on Amazon? Yeah. So I was like sharing the dashboard and everything on the workshop last night. We're doing, I think last 30 days was like 190K, 185K. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but it's like just under 200K for the last 30 days for my personal Amazon store. So yeah. Let's see. What's up, Jane? You just got here? Yeah, just talking all things Amazon. So let me know if you have any questions about selling on Amazon. Personally been selling Amazon for about 7 years now. It's like my side hustle is how it started. Now it's my full-time gig. Let's see. Amazon sent you an email asking for documents for an ASIN. They gave you 7 days to prove. Yeah, so that's normal, right? Like it's Amazon's platform. So if they like get a complaint from a customer, they got to make sure we're selling legit products on Amazon, right? So you just submit your invoices from whatever wherever you bought it from, and that's why it's so important to make sure you can always trust where you're buying inventory from, right? So whether that's like a local retail store that you know is legit, or an online website, or a wholesaler, you're buying stuff from importing stuff from China and it's your own brand, so obviously it's legit. Like those are all ways that your product would be legit there. Let's see. You couldn't provide. They sent you an email saying you can't sell the brand anymore. So I just upload the invoices like I was talking about. Yeah, just prove that you bought authentic inventory for that item. Yeah, they started reviewing products more often, maybe three to 4 years ago. Because I remember before that, like I ran into this as a seller. I would sell on a listing that was really profitable, and then like a ton of accounts would show up from like Turkey and China and like all kinds of like overseas accounts that were magically way cheaper than me. So it was obviously like people selling fake products. So that's where like a lot of those account reviews and stuff came around. And those accounts are gone now because they were selling fake stuff on Amazon. But it does mean that us like legitimate sellers, you got to submit some documents and stuff to prove that things are legit. But it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You just got to say, hey, Amazon, we're selling real products, basically. Let's see. What products do you sell? Anything that's profitable is like the short answer. It can also depend on the time of year, right? So, going into back to school season, school supplies, shoes, backpacks, stuff like that, right? Going into Christmas, toys, shoes, games, stuff like that, right? So anything, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of selling like uber seasonal products, but I do like to take advantage of seasonal trends where, like I'm talking about, like backpacks will be selling year round, right? But they're going to sell super well during August and September. So that's a good example. Something like, I don't know, like a classroom starter kit or like Valentine's Day conversation hearts. Not usually like my favorite types of products personally, because as soon as like that specific season ends, it's going to go down in demand massively. Let's see. You got 20 products on TikTok. Cool, man. Yeah, I don't know much about selling on TikTok, but yeah, there's a lot of ways to make some money online these days. I like it. Whatever you can see yourself like enjoying doing. Let's see. What's up, Jane? You said, my name's Warner. Yeah, Fields of Profit on all like social media platforms and stuff. Tell us your brand name. So what's up, Adil? So I just buy and sell brands that are already in demand. Yeah. So you don't need to like create your own brand from scratch or anything like that. Right. So easy option to like find some of your first stuff is like literally just go out to a local retail store. I'm literally going to do this after stream. I'm going to Marshall's, maybe Walmart, whichever one I see first. I'm going to scan the barcodes of things, and you can see like this has a clearance sticker on it. So I'm going to scan the barcodes of things like that, and it's going to tell me which of them sell for more on Amazon. That's like the bare basics, easiest way to just like go out into the wild and learn like, hey, what sells on Amazon, right? What I do personally more for my own business is going to big websites and buying stuff in bulk. You say, what app do you use? So SellerAmp for sourcing products. Yeah. So I'll use the SellerAmp app, like scanning things on my phone, or you can plug in, like if you go to the SellerAmp advanced search, which is actually pretty new. There'll be some more new info coming out about it here before too long, but you can go and plug in and say, hey, I want an item that sells 30 times a month. I want it to have 3 sellers on it. I want Amazon to not be on it. I want it to be items that are increasing in price. And I also want it to be in this specific brand that I want to sell. And you can click search and it'll show you all the products that meet those criteria. Right. So that's another good way to source. Or if you're like, again, so if you're like a new seller, you can also just like, don't like reinvent the wheel. Go to like Great Value Products or Up and Up or like Walgreens branded items and just see what those sellers are also, what brands those people are also into. Right? Because if they're selling Walgreens branded items, they're buying stuff from Walgreens, obviously. And you can see what other websites do these people source from? What coupons have they discovered? Yeah, just like lots of those. You can learn a lot just by looking at people who are maybe 1, 2 steps ahead of you and figuring out what they're already doing. Let's see, like a filter, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so you can go on SellerAmp and like filter for specific products you want. What are 5 products you consistently sell? I mean, I can't like give you like specific product names, but for me, like I'll usually just go with whatever's cheap today, right? I don't usually open up my computer and be like, all right, today I'm gonna try to buy vitamins, right? Um, I'm going to open up my computer and I'm going to check just a short list of websites. I'm going to check like Macy's. I'm going to check Vitacost. I'm going to check Walgreens. Just a short list of websites, right? And it's going to be like, okay, there's some clothes that are cheap on this website today. It seems like a lot of groceries are full price today. I'm going to source the stuff that's cheaper today, right? So it's less about like I want to source this today. It's what's cheap today. What's the market going to show me is a good opportunity to source today. Let's see what app to use. Yeah, so SellerAmp, Jane. Let's see. I like that's a good profile pic there too. Let's see. Can you source overseas from Asia? So yeah, you definitely can. I don't do a lot of that because I just buy and sell stuff that's already in demand. So there's no reason to like wait for things to get imported from overseas. But that's like a whole business model of selling on Amazon. So yeah, you absolutely can do that for sure. What's up? You said, what do you sell? Anything that's profitable, like short answer. Like I was saying, but yeah, I mean, I kind of just ran through the whole thing. We were kind of talking about it, but I'm going to source whatever's cheap today is like the easy way of looking at it. If you guys are, you want to figure out how to find your first product with relative, kind of the easiest lift, there's actually some new sourcing methods in 2026 that were not possible before. So go on Boxem and run the bulk ungate scan and then plug that brand name that it generates for you, because it's going to show you a list of brands that it's able to ungate for you for free. And then start searching for leads specifically in that brand. Even better if you can find that brand is on sale today, right? So you're going to get that short list of brands. You look up the brand. Hey, there's a 20% coupon at their website. All right, let me see what are all the best products on Amazon in that brand that I'm auto-ungated to sell and is cheaper today, right? That's going to be a really good like kind of focused list of things that are much more likely to be profitable. Let's see. Do you use a virtual address for your business? Does the address on the invoice have to match the address on your Amazon account for ungating? Yeah. So that'll be fine, Blu-ray though. So just set the billing address as whatever your Amazon account is linked to. So just so you guys are clear on that, like if you want to get approved to sell brands, make sure that the address that's on your Amazon seller account is on the invoice somewhere, whether it's the shipping address or the billing address. So like for me, I don't ship things to my house. Yeah, I don't ship things to like my house personally. So the billing address is always the address of my Amazon account, right? And then the shipping address is my prep center. I just ship it off to a prep center. I pay them per unit to prep, label, ship everything for me. And then you can kind of be a little bit more like remote that way. Let's see. What's a good budget to start on? At least $1,000. If you have like $3,000, that's a lot more comfortable, I'd say. But yeah, I had like $1,500 to my name when I started selling. If that helps provide some perspective. But yeah, if you got like a few $1,000, that's better. At the end of the day, it's an inventory based business, so you got to have money to make money. If you don't have a lot of money, then like what I did is just looking for stuff that's super cheap, right? So I was looking for used books. I was looking for literally like VCR players and DVD players and stuff like that you don't really think about people being able to sell on Amazon. But a lot of that stuff was cheap and people like collect it or whatever, right? Not the most scalable way to grow. That's why I don't do it anymore, but it's definitely how I started. Let's see. You're in an appointment. Yeah, you can go run to the appointment there, Jane. Sounds good. For sure. Yeah. And for any of you guys that are hopping on, just like wanting to learn like the bare basics, just look up, there's a free course on my YouTube channel. Just look up Fields of Profit free course on YouTube. There'll be like a 5-hour long YouTube video. There's also a free Discord community and free course in my bio or down below, depending on what platform you're watching on. So yeah, go ahead and check all that out if you're looking to learn how to sell on Amazon for free. Let's see. What do you do with your income? Stash as much as possible so that you can not be working when you're 65, 70, like most of the country will have to be. Yeah. Buying stocks, bought a house, that kind of thing. Let's see. Is there a specific system for finding products for new OA sellers? Yeah, if you're a brand new seller, I would do what I just kind of described there, which is getting a list of auto-ungated products from Boxem and then starting to source specifically for those brands. That way it takes out the part of the equation where you're having to wait like, 1 to 2 weeks to get ungated sometimes just through multiple submissions and that kind of thing. Let's see. Why you're not live on YouTube? I'm live on YouTube, man. I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter or something like that, I think. Let's see. So would you handle the packaging, or would Amazon take care of the labeling and shipping? Yeah. So let's run through an example, right? So last night we're buying some stuff from GameStop that's going to be profitable. So the things that I bought from GameStop, I order those from their website and I ship them directly to my prep center. So I ship it to the prep center, just like put it as the shipping address when I'm buying things. I'm going to pay them per unit to label everything, to box everything up, and to ship it all off to Amazon through Boxem. And then that item is going to check in at Amazon's warehouse and it's ready to sell to the customer at that point. So if a customer goes on Amazon and looks at the video games and stuff, right, and my price is good and my items at the Amazon's warehouse, I'm naturally going to get an even rotation of the sales between everyone else who has like a good shipping speed and like roughly the same price as me. Let's see. What's the YouTube video name? Yeah, if you're looking for just like a really like a good place to learn all the basics, just look up Fields of Profit free course on YouTube. That's just my YouTube channel name and then free course. Let's see. How much do you have to sell to get roughly 10K in profit? Realistically, probably 50-ish in revenue. Yeah, so like 20% gross margin is pretty typical. You might be a little bit higher than that if you're doing a lot of the work yourself and doing some higher effort sourcing methods, that kind of thing. A better way of looking at it is how much do I have to spend to hit my profit goals, right? That's the thing you can control is spending money on quality inventory. And so usually what that's going to mean is for every, let's say $100 you spend on inventory, you're going to make $30 in profit. So after you spend that $100, you'll have $130 after it sells. And then you just kind of repeat that and continue to grow your capital from there. Let's see. What's up, Nick? You said, is there a best way to get around order cancellations when ordering in large quantities? Yeah, I mean, if you're running into order cancels, you're properly scaling things, man. So I like using something sometimes something as simple as just like using PayPal to check out can make your orders go through at a higher success rate. And then also like using discounted gift cards. You can do what's called jigging your address. So you like basically misspell your address on purpose almost, so that it looks different to like an algorithmic order canceling system. To be honest though, if I'm having to like go to war to get orders through on a website, I'm usually not going to sit there and try a million different ways to get the money through. I'm just going to go try to look at a website that does want my money today. I used to spend a lot more time like battling order cancels and stuff, but found it's not always worth the time commitment. Sometimes you'll run into that item where it's like, all right, if I can figure out how to place 100 orders here, I'm gonna make $100,000 or something like that, right? And you'll figure it out in that case. But yeah, usually I'm just gonna go to websites that want my money. Not worried about the ones that cancel. What's one mistake that you made at the start? I mean, the biggest one that I always go back to is just kind of evolving too slowly. So like I personally only sold used books for my first like well over a year into my Amazon business. Partially because I didn't think like normal people could sell name brand stuff on Amazon. Like I thought you weren't allowed to, which is still like a big misconception. And then I wish I would have started like talking to other Amazon sellers sooner. Those are the two biggest things I'm harping on all the time for those of you guys that have been like watching the content and stuff for a while. But yeah, talk with other people who are doing this thing, learn new ideas. Like, it makes you feel like you're not the crazy one in the world, right? When you're out there like spending $1,000 on a big load of shampoo or something like that, right? Like, yeah, it just makes life easier and it's more fun when you got like some friends that also sell on Amazon. Tons of people like that on social media and Discord groups, Facebook groups, that kind of thing. Let's see, is online arbitrage still working? Yeah, man. So I'm still doing a lot of online arbitrage myself. We did like just under 200K doing all online arbitrage last month. So I would say it's working decently well. Let's see, shipping from overseas to the US, will it be expensive? It depends on what you're shipping, man. These days you got to pay attention to any things you're sending out from really any country because of like tariffs and stuff. So like, for example, I was buying from a website for like a long time that was in like the Netherlands or something. And then now that the tariffs and all that are around, we can't source from there anymore because like we'd start getting emails saying like UPS wants, $500 in this. And it's like, I spent $1,000 on the box. I can't afford another, $500 tariff on top of this. So that's like that's like one thing I would say, like just be on the lookout for. If you guys are sourcing, make sure wherever you're sourcing from is coming from the US, or at checkout. Sometimes they will include the tariffs for you. It can be kind of rare, but it might say like, taxes included, something like that on the checkout. So just make sure like if you are buying from some of those overseas suppliers that you have all that factored in. Let's see, you can come out with the Boxem app. Yeah, at some point. Lots of really cool stuff in the works right now. So I mentioned this at the start of the stream as well, but there's a brand new restocking tool on Boxem. So I've been using it to basically go in and I'll check it and it'll say, hey, you sourced it at this website. Based on how fast you're selling, you need to go reorder, 30 of these today. And what's really cool is we're working on some things for some websites. It's going to be able to check the prices of those items in real time. So it's not just going to go off what it cost before. It's going to go off what it actually costs right now. So you're going to get fed a big list of things that are actually profitable in real time, not just things that might be profitable, which is like some things that help you restock kind of have that as a big problem. So so Boxem will kind of have the best restocking abilities for wholesale and online arbitrage sellers. Let's see. Do the ungating ASINs get updated? I think they, we've updated a couple times. Last update was like a month-ish ago. We just kind of use that. We reflect a list of products that are commonly ungated for a lot of people, just so you can like kind of get the ball rolling and that kind of thing. What I really recommend is just plugging in, a big list of products and seeing what it unlocks for your store after you run the default check. Let's see. Your biggest problem is you can't find products. That's the business, right? Like, you don't have a business unless you can source products. So what I would suggest is to reframe the question, right? You don't find products is what I kind of like to say. You make products profitable. So what I mean by that is you're not finding an item for $10 at Walmart that sells for 30 on Amazon. You are finding an item at, I'm going to use Walgreens because it's more realistic. You're looking at Walgreens for an item that's $20 and it's $30 on Amazon. So after fees, it's not really going to be profitable. But then you go in and you make the item profitable with coupons, discounted gift cards, loyalty rewards, programs, or cashback credit cards, that kind of thing, right? So like the side ways to boost your margins as an arbitrage seller is like where the real profit is made, especially since in a world of there's been tools out for a long time that can like scrape websites and feed you profitable items. Like those have always missed a lot of the best products for that reason. That's the same reason that AI is still missing all the best products, is because the best products might not have a UPC match. The best products might require a couple layers of discounting. It might require you buying a 24 pack and then breaking it down to the 6 pack. That's the most profitable option, right? So, that's kind of how you would look at it there. Let's see. What's up, Uper? How you doing, man? Best advice for FBM: you always find tons of crazy profit, but they're always gated. So I mean, if you're just running into like gating, you've been in chat long enough, man. Like, you can just apply for those ungates with your invoices from the retailers and stuff. Usually like shipping costs and stuff are what people are running into for FBM items. Is it still a good way to buy from physical stores and sell on Amazon? Yeah, that's like going out to stores physically and reselling from there is the easiest way to find your first items. I'd say it's the easiest way to get to $1,000, $2,000 a month in profit. But to scale beyond that, it no longer becomes the easiest way, right? The easiest way to make 5 or 10K a month in profit is online arbitrage. Probably the easiest way to make 50K a month profit is probably going to be wholesale, right? So it kind of depends on what your goals are. And what you'll also find is most people have a combination of all those things. And you'll also see people running all different kinds of business models where you think like, oh, you can't scale that. And they're going absolutely insane. Like I know people that have literally sold $100 million+ of used books, which to me is insane. And I would never want to run that business, but people have figured it out. Like you can reach the highest level at whatever you kind of enjoy doing. That's the real thing, right? Just like whatever business model you find, just like stick with it and make sure you're enjoying it. It'll just kind of come naturally. Let's see. It's what you're going through now. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. Besides Boxem and SellerAmp, what are some other apps in the industry? Like a repricer would be a good one to add on, I would say. That'll just like automatically change your prices over time to make sure you're like competitive and continue to make sales and that kind of thing. I use Flash Pricer for that. Let's see. Is there any way to avoid FC transfers? So you can do optimized shipping, which will have your items FC transfer less. But it's pretty much every item is going to go through an FC transfer, just because like otherwise we would send items to Amazon and they'd be like, all right, send it to 27 warehouses, right? Because the goal Amazon's going to try to do is they're going to try to put your products in as many warehouses as possible, so that your stuff is prime eligible in more places in the country, basically, right? You can kind of cut back on FC transfers by making an optimized shipment. So like when you go in on Boxem and make your shipment, when you're making the boxes together, make all the boxes that are in your shipment the exact same weight, dimensions, and unit counts, and then you'll be eligible to pay $0 on placement fees, and it'll go to 5 different fulfillment centers instead of just one under the typical like paying for inventory placement. I know there's a lot of like jargon and stuff. You've been around long, Sabrina. You probably know what I'm talking about. But if you guys want to see how to do that, just look up like optimized shipping Boxem on optimized shipping Boxem on YouTube, and you'll see how to make that shipment where you're not paying placement fees and stuff like that. On like getting into the shipping where it can get kind of complicated. So yeah, let me know if you have other like clarifying questions and stuff on that. See, books are flying right now on Amazon. Yeah, I mean, that's how I started my business, just selling used books and stuff. Yeah, people what was crazier to me, like I was kind of talking about earlier, like kind of as a low capital seller, like kind of getting started out, like I needed ways to buy stuff really cheap that sold for a lot. So VCR players ended up being something I sold a lot of. Because it was, you'd get them for like $6 at a thrift store, and then for some reason people, you can't find it locally, so people are going on Amazon and paying 50, 60, sometimes $100 for like the combo DVD VCR players. I don't know who's still watching VCR players, but they're buying them on Amazon. So I'll take it. Brings me back to being a little kid, basically. watching some movies on a VCR. Let's see, what kind of used books. For me, I was just like hobby, religious, nonfiction, that kind of thing. Yeah, the main thing though, like I would stress, and like it kind of held me back selling books for too long. So if you have more than like a few $1,000, there's no reason to like mess with selling used books and stuff. Just because it's going to be hard to deploy all your capital. You'd want to deploy your capital like reselling name brand stuff. Let's see. You said you've been flipping VCR DVD combos. Yeah, so you know what it's about, man. Yeah. For some reason, like those are still selling well. What are those selling for now? I haven't sold any of those for like maybe 5 years at this point, to be honest. Out of curiosity, I assume that they might be even more valuable, like as they get rarer and that kind of thing. Let's see. You said when you go to Walmart to the clearance area, you might find like 2 or 3 items that have a profit, but they're gated. Oh yeah, if you're going out to the physical retail stores, you can if you start seeing a lot of the same brands in store, I would just look for the ability to source that same thing online and then use that online invoice to ungate the brand. You could also like I've been doing the retail arbitrage series this week. So like when I'm out in the stores, I'll like copy the ASIN and I'll put it into the bulk ungater, and I'll see if it can bulk ungate me on that specific ASIN or do a little list at once. Let's see, they're around $170 used now. Damn. Yeah, I remember I would usually be selling VCR players and stuff for like usually, like I said, like the combos would be like $100 to $120. Yeah, I can still remember like a couple of the brand names and stuff. That's funny. You've been probably on the thrift store grind and stuff then. Yeah, Gen X playing old home videos. Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it really is people like, oh, here's like grandma's old VCR tape. We don't have a VCR player. I got to go on Amazon and buy one. And yeah, it's kind of funny when you think about it. People trying to watch like family heirlooms and stuff, and they don't have the thing to watch it anymore. You tried being an Amazon seller, you never got views or traction. It was selling phone cases years ago. Yeah, so it sounds like you tried to like launch your own product from scratch in a niche that's very competitive, right? So if you're going to launch your own product, it's got to be something like relatively unique or something you can improve. Like it's probably hard to improve a phone case at this point. So you could launch your own product eventually, but I would still suggest, if you want to get back into selling, just to start selling name brand stuff, right? So going to retail stores, looking on big websites, that kind of thing. Just piggybacking off existing demand, and then if you want to use that cash flow you can create from that to launch your own product, then I think that's a great idea. Yeah, and if you guys are watching, you'll see all like the tactical knowledge on how to source all these products, what good products even look like, where I like to source products, that kind of thing. There's a free course up in my bio or down below, depending on what platform you're on. And there's like literally a list of where I source products, how I source products, how to get on Gate and a bunch of things. Yeah, and that's completely free. So yeah, go check that out. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up stream here for the day though. So I appreciate all you guys popping on in here. Once again, click the link in my bio or click down below. You'll see all the resources and free course and that kind of thing if you want to learn more about selling Amazon for free. And I will see you guys again very soon. Appreciate everybody popping in on the stream today. Thanks, guys.